So I think yesterday's performance, guys, was exactly what Arsenal fans, I think the manager, the players, everyone associated with the club was expecting, in a sense that we couldn't afford for this run that we were on currently to go on, but also something that a lot of us as fans wanted. We wanted a result, we wanted a performance, and I'm so glad that the boys delivered that to us yesterday. From minute one up until minute 90, it was utter domination from Arsenal. And if we're being honest, guys, I think 3 goals is flattering for Nottingham Forest. I think, from a team that hasn't won in its last 5 games, I think for Arsenal to get a convincing 3-0 win, a clean sheet included, I think confidence-wise, that is something that the boys can be really proud of. I think the manager got it spot on yesterday as well. I mean, all the changes. And I think let's get straight into it. I think when I was talking in the various group chats that I'm in, there were predicted lineups. Everybody was saying, they got some ITK, some leaks. And when the actual team news came out, I think everybody was surprised. I don't think anybody could have predicted that 11. When I saw it, though, I wasn't actually too, I don't know how to say. I saw some fans who were quite irritated or not happy with the amount of changes, but I kind of saw Arteta's point of view. It's where it's like, you know, he needed to freshen things up, and I think that was a bold statement to make. I mean, uh, you think that maybe you're going to start party with Marino and Odegaard, but it drafts in Jorginho. You're expecting Havertz and Martinelli to start, and then you see it's Trossard and Jesus up front. And I think, shout out to the guys from the Canon podcast, George and Alex, who were just talking about, Arteta picked pocket players, players that can play in the tight spaces, not many players that could really break lines. And I think the way Nottingham Forest set up yesterday, I think that really complemented the plays that Arteta picked. I think, there were guys that yesterday stood out for me. Yes, you had your older guys, your suckers, but players like Trossard and Jesus, in my opinion, had very good games, or even halves of football, where I think Trossard in the first half, especially, looked quite threatening. He was very involved, and I think Arteta was brave, and I have to commend his bravery for that. To give a player like Trossard, who's been under fire lately from a couple of fans, a start, and Trossard in a sense did kind of return the favor with that kind of performance. So I think all in all, Arteta, the boys, they got that performance spot on. I think the subs Arteta made was impactful. You get goals from 2 substitutes in Nwaneri and Partey, and 2 really good goals. And I think that's the type of performance that we as fans have been calling for. We've been asking for Arsenal to step it up in terms of goals, tempo, attitude, mentality, assertiveness. And I think it's great to see that the boys, after international break, a 3 p.m. kickoff against an informed team in Nottingham Forest, could have been really, really tricky for us, but we were mature, we were professional, and I think we were, to a degree, ruthless. I think some of the chances that we had, we could have done better with, but with the chance that we did score, I think the chance of scoring those goals are not as high. I mean, Saka had how many players around him? Thomas Partey edge of the box. It's very easy to blast it over. I think Nwaneri's goal is probably the more likely of all the goals to go in. But if you look at the goals we scored, great team play, great individual displays, and I think, like I said, overall a very good performance from Arsenal. So yeah, just all in all, proud with the boys' performance. I think it's only right that we mention some of the standout players yesterday. And there was a poll posted by Arsenal yesterday on Twitter where they asked you man of the match, and I actually voted Martin Odegaard. But I think I'll retract that and go with Saka. I think, yes, Odegaard, his impact on the team and the game was phenomenal, I think, without a doubt. But Saka just continued to show his level of performance, his level of consistency, the I would call it world-class standard Saka's been performing at. I mean, there's a stat that I saw that in the past 3 seasons, the only players to get 60 goals and assists are Saka, Haaland, and Salah. And I mean, look at the top 3 teams in the league currently. So it only makes sense that, each team has a player at that level. And I think Saka is slowly just morphing into that complete player. I mean, yesterday's goal was, I love the goal because it came with a degree of arrogance. Everyone was saying pass, Marino was opening space, and he said, no, screw this. I'm taking the initiative. I'm taking the onus. It's on me. And he rifles the ball into the roof of the net. And, when you've been under pressure, you've been underperforming like Arsenal have in the last few games, to have someone, especially your talisman in Saka, step up and deliver a moment like that, it just eases the pressure. There's a huge sigh of relief around the stadium. You could hear it even at home, where I was watching the game. I just felt like, okay, we on it today. And I think Saka was the epitome of, the performance. I think then obviously the next player to link it to is Martin Odegaard, because I think the two of them just have such incredible synergy. You can just see how much they complement each other's game. People have been talking about, is Odegaard, deemed necessary for the team, and you can argue maybe in the position, but I think there's no doubt that Odegaard is in our best 11. Odegaard is not top 5 players without a doubt. There's no way that Arsenal are not a better team with Martin Odegaard in it, and I think his ability to dictate the tempo in and out of position was a huge, huge thing for me yesterday. Leading the press, getting players into position, but also on the ball, how he took initiative, how he never, shied away from collecting the ball. And I think that's what you want to see from your captain. That's what you want to see from your most creative midfield option. And I think with the way him and Saka were just playing yesterday, it just really made me have a next level of confidence again. And it's just a reminder, I think, for all of us fans that our team is really good, guys. And I did say this in my previous video during the international break, where I said that pundits and rivals want Arsenal to fans to think that there's a huge problem with our team. And it's not the case. I don't think our team is poor at all. I think some of the results have been a bit, how to say, unfortunate, but I don't think it showed a bad team. You don't go and dominate Nottingham Forest like the way we did yesterday when they've beaten Liverpool and drawn against Chelsea, and that was both away games at Anfield and Stamford Bridge, respectively. They come to the Emirates yesterday and they don't have a sniff. Taiwo Iwani, I hope I could pronounce it correctly, the number 9, had nothing. Chris Wood comes on, has nothing. Ilanga, Hudson-Odoi, Jota Silva come on. None of their wingers have anything. Midfield we dominate. We're putting their defense under pressure. It was an overall dominant performance by us yesterday. And I think Odegaard was like the key element of that. I think his energy that he brought was fantastic. Just a couple of other players that I would like to give some brief mentions to. I think Saliba and Gabriel, they were back to their best yesterday. I think defensively, we were looking so solid. And I think that's going to be a big thing for us. I think clean sheets is going to be something that we need to really aim for in the next, let's say, 8 to 10 games. As many clean sheets as we can rack up. If we can get clean sheets, I think Arsenal will always score. And I think that's what I'm confident in, is that our defense has always been one of our pillars of strength. So we need to lean on that once again. So I should give a mention to our centre-backs. And then obviously, I think Thomas Partey deserves a huge mention, guys. Coming on, continuing his good form this season. Coming on, getting a great goal yesterday. Great technique, bearing it in the far corner. He just showed his class. Replacing Jorginho, who also had a good game. And I think if not for a yellow card, probably would have played longer. But the drop off in tempo and the ability to dictate wasn't lost when we subbed Jorginho out and brought in Partey. So I think I have to give really good credit to Thomas Partey for that yesterday. And then I think it's only fair that we mention Ethan Nwaneri, guys. Ethan Nwaneri, he's one of our own. And I think when you heard that going around the stadium yesterday, there's a sense of pride that, Arsenal have once again produced a young talent, which we can all see has the ability to reach the Cesc Fabregas, Bukayo Saka kind of heights, where Ethan just looks such a mature player. His decision making 9 times out of 10 is the right decision. His willingness to get on the ball is great. And I think for a young player to be trusted by his teammates at that age just shows that the quality is there. Now I know, and I have to agree with Mikel Arteta yesterday. We said, let's just be patient. Let's just, build his foundations and give him time. And I think that's exactly what I want to see in this Arsenal team, where you've got a mature enough team where you don't have to rely on a young player like this. Obviously when Odegaard was out, we were trying to call for Ethan to come in because of the type of profile the players are. But at the same time, I'm not dying or stressing for Ethan to start. I think if Odegaard is fit, Odegaard starts, and Ethan gets his minutes like he did yesterday. And I think that will just only bode well for the young man. I think, at 17, there's no need to put this next level of pressure when guys like Saka, Odegaard, Havertz, Martinelli haven't even reached their peaks in terms of what they can give us. So I think we should be, as fans, not too quick to look to the future and currently just enjoy the present with where Nwaneri is now, where Miles Lewis-Kelly, for example, is now. Young players that we're excited about, but still knowing that our first 11 or mature senior players are the ones we should be depending on. So, yes, guys, let me know if I've missed out any players that you think, deserve a bigger praise. Was there anyone that I'm just maybe not giving enough credit to? Who was your man of the match? And going forward, do you think Ethan Nwaneri deserves more minutes? Is he someone that you as an Arsenal fan would start going forward? Special shout out or special praise to Mikel Arteta. And I think, during the international break, I asked the question of Arteta, can he give us something different? Can he change it up? Can he, switch up his tactics or the way he does things? And I think yesterday was an example of that. Maybe the tactics were similar, that's how Arsenal played before, but the personnel was different. The amount of changes he made, it's not something that we used to with Arteta, but he was brave yesterday. I think the game plan from Arteta was to take the game to Forest, and I think we did it from minute one. And I think the intensity we saw from the players has to come from the manager. I think Arteta probably had a word with him and saying, guys, you know what? What's done is done in the past. The first 11 games are what they are. What can you do with the next 11? And I think obviously that's how you kind of want to break it down. It's like the season is portions. What do you do in each, let's say, quarter of the season? I think this is now becoming the second quarter where it's like, guys, we were down the first quarter. Can we bounce back and even it out come halfway point? And I think that's what's going to be essential. I think from now till the 19th game, is going to be where Arsenal need to really go on a good run. If we can get the next 8-9 wins in a row, I think that would just bode well for our season and put us in a good stead to maybe potentially winning the league, which I still think we're on track for. I think, yes, some people think that it's down and out and everything. And look, we could lose the next two games and then it genuinely could be done. But as for now, I still believe, I still think there's enough football for a lot of slips to happen for any team, a lot of ups and downs. So you know what? As long as there's still a mathematical chance for Arsenal to win, I will believe. And yeah, I just want to give special praise to the manager because I think, he's been under pressure lately. There's been a lot of Arteta outers saying, if he doesn't win anything this season, then he should leave. And I just think Arteta is the reason why we have these high standards. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying Arsenal fans are not ever expecting to win the league, but Arteta is the reason why we've now, in the past 2 years, had genuine belief that we can win a league title. And I think at the first sign of adversity, Arteta seems to get questioned like super heavily. It's always like, oh, you should be leaving. Is he really, what does he want? Whatever, whatever. And it's like, okay, how many other managers in the league have won trophies in the time Arteta's been here? City have been cleaning up trophies. Ten Hag has won. Klopp as Conte, when he was at Tottenham, did Mourinho? No. It has Eddie Howe. Going down the list of the teams that are there, how many of them have actually won trophies? So it's very easy to say that Arteta needs to win something, but I don't think it's just so straightforward to say go out and win. Ultimately, you're performing against a league full of strong teams, and I mentioned it in my previous video as well that the teams at the bottom are no longer just super poor teams. I mean, you look at like the likes of Forest, they had some really, really good players in their team. So I think when it comes to Mikel Arteta, I think sometimes he's too harshly judged because of our desperation to win a league title. If Arsenal had won a league title 3 years ago, I think we'd have a lot more patience with this manager. But because he's the guy that we're hoping to deliver a 20-year, almost 21-year drought and end it, the pressure will always be higher on him. So I'm just saying to all the fans, just be patient. This manager's always shown us every season that he is always trying to be better. The players are always trying to just do that 1% more. And I think they are owed a little bit more trust from us as fans. So yeah, just a big shout out to Arteta and especially the boys as well. Yesterday, I think that was an overall good performance from the coaching staff as well as the players. Going ahead now, and we've got the Champions League game on Tuesday evening against Sporting Lisbon, who obviously had a really big win yesterday. Obviously after Ruben Amorim left, and some people were thinking and asking, will they be the same team since he's left? And the question is, well, it looks like it. So the game against Sporting is going to be extremely difficult. I mean, they've got the confidence from their last win yesterday, and obviously the beating City in the last Champions League game. So it's going to be an extremely difficult game for us. But I do think Arsenal can get away from Sporting or Portugal with a win. Is the point the worst? Probably not, but I would love another win just to continue momentum. Even if it's a 1-0 victory and it's like, kind of ironed out or earned in a very doggy performance from Arsenal, I think that will be just as satisfactory as maybe winning 3-0 again. So I think it's vitally important that Arsenal in all competitions now go on a good run. Like I said, the next 10 games, Arsenal to win them all. Not necessarily because it's going to mean that we'll be top of the league or whatever, but just for the momentum to be built and to have some sort of platform to bowl our season on. Because the first 11 games have been a bit up and down, some draws, there's some losses, a few wins, but not a consistent period where Arsenal have been winning. So I think that if we are to really, by the end of the year, which obviously, I mean, like Christmas time, to be in a good position in the league and the Champions League, we're going to need to win the games that we have remaining. So starting with Sporting on Tuesday, obviously, guys, they got Victor Gyökeres, which is probably the most informed striker alongside Harry Kane probably this season. It's going to be tough. They've got some good technical players as well, but I think Arsenal need to show their maturity, need to show their experience, and need to show determination and hunger to go and get another victory. It's all good and well beating Nottingham Forest 3-0 yesterday. But if you go and lose on Tuesday, it just kind of throws another question mark. Is this Arsenal team really consistent enough? And I think Arteta needs to set the boys up in a way that we can go there and get a result. away from home in the Champions League, Arteta's record is not the greatest, so I would just love for him to silence some of the doubters and critics by going to Portugal and getting a win, especially considering the fact that City lost there, and lost there quite convincingly. So if Arsenal can go there, get a 1-2-0, 2-1 victory, I think this just bodes well for, quieting down the critics, getting the fan base behind the team again, just confidence for the overall team. So, yeah, we will obviously do a bit more of an in-depth dive into that game closer to the time. So I might drop a video on Tuesday, just maybe giving my predicted team prediction, that kind of stuff, or I'll probably do a review after the game. So obviously that you will all see as the time goes on. But let me know in the comment section, guys, what you thought of Arsenal's performance yesterday. Who were your standout players? Did you think Mikel Arteta was brave, or did he take a chance with the changes he made? And do you think Arsenal can go to Portugal against Sporting on Tuesday? If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you've hit the like button, make sure that you've hit the subscribe button, and make sure that you flooded the comments. Guys, we also have the Golden Goal Media giveaway, which is set to be done on the 1st of December. Stand a chance to win a football jersey of the team that you support. If you're a Gunner and you're on this podcast, you stand a chance to win this season's Arsenal kit. It can be home, away, or the third kit. The choice is yours. So make sure to follow us on Instagram and follow the competition rules on there. As always, guys, from myself, Shannon, at the Gunner's Voice, it's good to be